Imagine checking your phone tonight and reading this headline. Philippines may be banned from Australia. No warning, no explanation, just uncertainty. If you're a Filipino nurse in Sydney, a student waiting for visa approval, a father trying to bring your family over, that headline doesn't feel political. It feels personal. And that's exactly what happened when reports surfaced that senators in Australia discussed restricting migrants from certain regions, including parts of the Philippines. But here's the question that matters. Was this a real ban? Or did a political draft explode into something much bigger? Did lawmakers secretly pass a policy targeting Filipinos? Is Australia closing its doors? Or is this a case of political language being interpreted as national rejection? Because what we found might surprise you. A Filipino aged care worker in Melbourne said she froze when she saw the post online. Her first thought wasn't politics. It was, will I lose everything I built here? That's the power of a headline. And that's why we need to slow this down. By the end of this video, you'll know what was actually proposed, whether a legal ban exists, why the Philippines was mentioned, and what this really means for migrants. But first, let's go back to where it started. The controversy began with reports of a leaked immigration proposal being discussed inside political circles. Let's be precise. It was a draft, not a law, not a signed executive order, not a passed parliamentary act, a draft. In democratic governments, drafts are written constantly. Most never become law. But when a draft leaks, especially one involving migration and security, it can ignite public fear instantly. And that's exactly what happened. According to media reporting, the proposal discussed increased screening or possible restrictions on migrants from specific high-risk regions. Among multiple regions across different countries, certain areas of the southern Philippines were referenced. Notice the wording carefully. Specific regions, not the entire country, not every Filipino citizen. Security-based migration assessments often focus on areas with documented insurgency, regions with extremist group activity, border control vulnerabilities. Parts of southern Philippines have experienced historical insurgent activity over decades. That is documented in international security reports. But here's where tension increases. When people read Philippines mentioned in migration restriction draft, the nuance disappears. It becomes they're banning Filipinos, and that emotional jump spreads fast. Let's be clear and grounded. There is currently no official Australian government ban on Filipino migrants. Visa pathways remain active. Skilled migration programs continue. Student visas are being processed. Family sponsorship applications are ongoing. No parliamentary law has been passed banning Filipino nationals. If a full ban existed, it would require public legal documentation, official government announcement, immediate administrative enforcement. None of that has occurred. So why does it feel like something major happened? Because fear travels faster than confirmation. Immigration debates are emotionally charged everywhere, not just in Australia. Housing shortages, job competition, border security, economic pressure. These issues make migration policy a political lightning rod. When elections approach, rhetoric intensifies. Proposals become tougher. Language becomes sharper. Some politicians argue for stricter controls. Others defend balanced migration systems. The leaked proposal must be understood within this environment. It was part of a broader immigration strategy discussion, not a formal rejection of Filipino migrants. But politically charged language can feel like rejection, and perception matter. Here's another critical layer. Australia and the Philippines maintain diplomatic cooperation. They engage in trade partnerships, defense coordination, maritime cooperation, educational exchange. The Filipino community in Australia is one of the fastest-growing migrant groups. Thousands work in healthcare, construction, engineering, and community services. A blanket ban would disrupt industries and strain diplomatic ties significantly. Such a move would not happen quietly. It would be global news. That level of escalation has not happened. Even without law changes, uncertainty has consequences. Families hesitate to apply. Students question their plans. Workers feel vulnerable. When headlines imply exclusion, communities internalize it. It can feel like being unwanted, even if policy has not changed. That emotional weight is real. But it must be separated from legal reality. Governments always retain the authority to adjust migration policy. Future measures could include increased background checks, regional security assessments, temporary visa restrictions, but these would follow formal processes. Governments rarely impose full nationality-based bans on allied nations without severe diplomatic fallout. Policy shifts are typically targeted, structured, and publicly documented, not sudden and silent. This situation reveals something larger about modern society. We live in an era where leaked drafts become viral outrage, headlines become assumptions, assumptions become emotional truth. But emotional truth is not always legal truth. Fact sheet exists to examine policy carefully, not react instantly. Because in sensitive topics like migration, clarity protects communities. Here is the balanced reality. A draft proposal discussed enhanced scrutiny on certain regions, including areas in the Philippines. It has not become law. There is no official Australian ban on Filipino migrants at this time. Political debate continues. Diplomatic relations remain active. Migration pathways remain open. The fear is understandable, but law and speculation are not the same thing. In moments like this, clarity matters more than outrage, because when headlines shake communities, facts steady them. This is fact-finding. If you want analysis that separates political tension from documented reality, subscribe. Because in a world driven by reaction, understanding is power.